Welcome to Patagonia. This is Torres del Paine National Park in Chile, and for 5 days I will be out in the field from sunrise to sunset with a Puma guide. This is probably the best place in the world to see and photograph pumas. But as I photograph all the amazing wildlife here, I learned that this land has a dark history. Yesterday I got back from Antarctica and I've been on mainland for probably around 24 hours, and the next adventure begins now. Let me show you what's outside. Ta-da! We've literally spent the whole morning setting up and we're now ready to go. I didn't want to show you all the boring bits of packing, but we're about to leave our Airbnb. Bye! I will do a proper tour, probably tonight, but we need to get going because we don't even know where we're going tonight, so it's a good start. Our first task, supplies and empanadas. This is Punta Arenas, and we can find all we need here. There are no supermarkets in or near the national park, so we needed to stock up the fridge. Buy adapters. And then we hit the road. A little bit too late. So this is where we parked last night, right next to this river. The sun has just come out and generally our journey was very good. We almost hit a rabbit and Juan managed to brake and we just avoided it, but it was very close. And we didn't finish our journey because it was already after 11. So we found this place on I Overlander and it's been lovely. And right here, there's this like bridge and it's for 2 people and you sit in it and you like pull yourself across, and I kind of want to do it. I just climbed up and it's padlocked, so adventure aborted. That didn't feel good.
I know.
We arrived to Torres del Paine late that night. As soon as we entered the national park, we saw 2 pumas on the rocky outcrop. I didn't even have my camera ready yet. We followed the female, and this made me so excited for the upcoming 5 days. This is not actually the first puma I've seen. I've seen 3 before in Costa Rica, but the encounters were fleeting. And in this moment, I really felt this girl's spirit. She had such a powerful glare. It was humbling to be close to a cat that was unfazed by people. She walked down the slope and found a spot in the long grass. Our first morning tracking pumas, and we've already seen 3. As soon as we entered the park, we saw 2, a male and a female. And it was before sunrise, so it was quite dark, but it was still amazing to get some shots of them on the rocks. We then followed the female, and she's currently on a slope next to the road, and we're hoping that she wakes up soon. This female apparently had 3 cubs, and unfortunately they were killed by a male puma. Infanticide can happen, especially when a new male moves into a territory and he wants to mate with the females, so he'll kill the cubs so that she can mate again. But the male we saw is following this female, so it is likely that he will still follow her and we might see them both together. So we're currently just waiting to see what will happen. So how was it seeing your first puma?
Bonito.
Something I love about travelling is meeting locals and learning about their culture. This is our guide, Miguel, and he's going to share a very important drink in Chile.
Cada persona tiene su forma de hacer el mate porque el mate es personal. Toda la hierba, ¿no es cierto? Sí. Vamos haciendo pausa, pongo mi bombilla, elijo un lugar, hago un poquito de fuerza, esta es la hierba que ya le quité el polvo, ¿no es cierto? E intentamos no mojar toda la hierba. Viene mojándose de abajo. El mate es nuestro compañero. Como te decía antes, se me puede quedar la cámara, pero esto jamás. Jamás. Ahí está. Entonces el segundo mate se lo voy a invitar a la cámara. Y bienvenida a Patagonia.
Gracias. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah?
It's hot.
Really?
It reminds me of coca in Peru.
Yeah. Sí, sí.
Es como lo recuerdo, es como lo recuerdo.
I have added 4 of my favourite puma photos onto my website as high quality prints, and I'd like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I've hosted a physical and online shop on my Squarespace website, and it couldn't be easier. I'm really happy with some of these puma shots, and I hope you'll enjoy them too. Squarespace automatically makes a mobile version of your website, but you can still fine-tune it to make it perfect. Also, if you're interested in the Svalbard expedition next summer, have a look on my website. If you'd like to give Squarespace a go, head to squarespace.com/daniconnorwild and you can save 10% off a new purchase of a website or a domain. I could only take a few bites of my breakfast when a massive male puma was spotted. This guy was so big compared to the female. He had his eyes on a baby guanaco that he was ready to stalk. We made a stop at the park's entrance for a lunch break. So far, I've been absolutely amazed how relaxed the pumas are, but these lands have a dark history. It wasn't too long ago that hundreds of pumas were shot here.
So we gotta think before the Westerns started settling in, right? There were only the indigenous people, but the Westerns, in particular the English, started seeing this land as a good opportunity to raise sheep. This place in particular, Torre del Paine, right? It was only discovered by Western people around the 1870s. It was this Vaqueano. Vaqueano is like an explorer, William Gringold. He wrote a lot of his memories and he talks a lot about pumas. Pumas, for these people that were settling here, is like their main threat for the way of living because they are obviously killing the sheep. So they were trying to get rid of the puma. William Gringold describes some of this really social behavior, large group of pumas, but he also describes how he used to kill over 1,200 pumas he killed in his lifetime. gotta think he's not the only one, right? The number of pumas, the guanacos, of all the wildlife goes down. This brings us to the moment where the national park started, 1959, and it was all estancias. So sheep, cattle, horses, very few wildlife. As the protection, the national park grew, the protection grew, and animals started coming back. This brings us to the 80s, when this Englishman, Hugh Miles, came to do a documentary. He spent over 2 years here trying to film it, trying to follow this family of pumas, in particular this puma is called Penny.
She's such a special cat. I'll call her Penny.
But there is also still some problems of hunting, and along him there are some park rangers. Amongst them is one in particular, Jose Vargas, which starts seeing the methods Hugh Miles was using, like following the guanacos. And once Hugh Miles leaves, Jose Vargas starts following as well his footsteps and starts his own company. He teaches his son. They were the first ones to start seeing pumas, and after that other people came. Nowadays, Miguel and I were doing also like this tourism, this conservation. Also, you can see that in 4 or 5 years, the number of guanacos has dropped a lot. And mainly you can see how the number of pumas increasing. This healthy environment. More prey is gonna be more predator, but also means that the prey is gonna go down. Once the prey is gonna go down, the predator will have to go down again, the prey will go up, and this fluctuation, right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
In the afternoon, we caught up with the female. She was still resting in the grass. Pumas generally rest in the heat of the day. We waited a short while when Miguel suddenly got a call from a tracker. A large male puma was stalking a guanaco. The wind was shaking my camera so much, I had to shoot from the window of the car. The guanaco walked right in front of the bush where the puma was waiting. The guanaco was alert. The heat was radiating. And with all his energy, he ran. The puma sank his teeth into her neck, and within minutes, the guanaco was down. This is the first hunt I've ever seen. Due to the long grass, I couldn't see the full attack. But it made me realise how powerful these animals are. The puma dragged the guanaco into the nearest bush to hide his meal. For reasons I cannot explain, I lost my photos. All I have is the phone photos of the back of my camera, and the footage was thanks to Juan. I was quite devastated that I lost my photos, especially as it was my first ever hunt, but this was our first day, so I stayed optimistic for the rest of our trip. What a crazy afternoon we had watching that puma take down a guanaco. That's actually the first proper hunt I've ever seen, and I'm sort of glad I didn't see after the initial attack, but that's nature. This evening we tried to look for a female who has 1-month-old cubs, but we were unsuccessful, and tonight we're actually leaving this area. This is where we camped last night. We came here in the dark, left in the dark, so didn't really see it. We're actually moving campsite tonight to a more sheltered area because apparently the winds here are going to get pretty intense tonight. And I have to admit, the truck does shake a lot when it's windy. So, yeah. This was our first time living in a van. I will do a full video on living in a van and doing wildlife photography.
This morning feels so longer.
Yeah, true.
I can do it.
It's so thick. Oh, so nice. How am I supposed to drink? Oh, yeah. Can I have more Tabasco? But cooking was a bit of a challenge, so I tried to make one-pot meals. The following morning we checked the mail. He had probably spent the whole night eating and covered the guanaco with grass. We went to another area looking for 1-month-old puma cubs, but we couldn't find any pumas. So I spent some time with the guanacos. After the previous crazy day with 5 puma sightings, we were really treated. And maybe this led me to high expectations. In the next video, I experience a magical moment with a mother and her 1-year-old cub. But I also discover Patagonia and Puma photography is not quite what I expected. Remember, these photos are available as fine art prints. Thank you to my wonderful patrons, and thanks for watching.